Greetings and good morning. Welcome to Tarot Time and welcome to the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message and to assist you in your awakening process. And we're all awakening at our own levels or at our own pace. We're all on our own trajectory, but there's a lot of cosmic portals and openings that are going on right now. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and then dive right into some tarot and some divination to give you the forecast, which could be your personal forecast or the forecast for our community here on the Medium channel, and as well as our extended spiritual community, our star families and everything, or what's going on in the world around us, because it's all the same. It all comes from the same source. And as I often say, the more we can be present and then open the heart and be present in the heart frequencies, the more easily and gracefully we're going to move through all of these changes, these energetic changes, and all of the chaos and confusion around us, because we're going to be in the pure vibration of love, which is the portal to spirit or divine consciousness. So say a couple quick hellos and dive right on into it. If you guys are new, please say hi and let us know where you're from. We have very often we have except Antarctica. I would flip out if somebody tuned in from Antarctica. It would be from a research station, I guess. But other than that, we have all continents represented here, which is amazing. We are a global community of light workers, of mystics, healers, psychics, mediums, starseeds. This is it. We're all here and we're all one. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, good morning, Tracy and Sharon. Good morning. Hi, Carissa and Joanne and Pauline. Welcome, Kaylee and Suzette and Susan and Lisa and Colleen again. And oh my God. Hi, Michelle and Sharon and Doreen. I can't keep up with all your comments. Yes, it's a snow day. I'm in my glory because I love the snow. I mean, in my mind, I'm living in Hawaii, but I'm still physically living in upstate New York in the Catskills. And it's millions of little crystals falling from the sky. Our crystal friends, like this guy here, this is a big self-healing crystal. There's always going to be 6 sides on a quartz crystal. So 6 has a very sacred numerology. It ties into the Tesla code 369. And like Nikola Tesla said, if you understand the beauty or mystery, I don't remember the exact quote, and chances are the exact quote is different than what you see on the internet anyway. But the point being is that he found this relationship between 3, and then 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9, to be a very mystical quality. And if you tune into that vibration and energy, then you unlock the mysteries of the universe. Well, we have that in the crystal with the 6 sides, but these snowflakes out here, water crystals also have 6 sides. So if you feel like when you go out in the snow, if it feels like a mystical experience, like you feel your heart open, you feel a greater sense of spirit. I mean, we know it's peaceful because it muffles the sound and it makes everything kind of beautiful. Then you're tuning into that crystalline energy. So very good, very good. So glasses, please. Comments. Has anybody else been super emotional the last week? I took a break yesterday. I'm doing a lot of heart-brain coherence. I reached a new level, and of course, we talk about that all the time on this channel. Heart-brain coherence is really just a modernized version of what the masters, mystics, teachers from Lao Tzu to Jesus to the great yogis, that when you dwell in the heart and when you dwell in compassion, anything's possible. That's how you connect with God. That's how you connect with source. That's how you connect with spirit. But enter 2022, we have science. We have people like Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden and Heart Math Institute and all these people doing this research, and they're finding scientific proof that what the mystics were saying was absolutely true. And through all the studies, I'm not going to go into it all now because we'll be here a long time, but suffice it to say that dwelling in the heart and expanding the frequencies of the heart gratitude, magnified gratitude, compassion is the master frequency. When you can tap into that, you expand into spirit by, shall we say, not condensing, but coalescing in the frequencies of the heart. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that today. And let me, by the way, if this or any other live streams, if a comment stays up too long, let me know, because sometimes this has happened twice now. I'll hide the comment and I don't see it, but you guys see it. Because when I had Lily Nova on, and by the way, if you didn't see her, she was an amazing guest, and she did a nice activation. It's all about star seeds and finding out who you are as an extraterrestrial, or what your extraterrestrial connections are. But somebody just left a comment saying, Adam, you are awesome. So I meant to flash it for a second. I was going through all the comments. I was flashing them for a second. But that comment stayed up for, gosh, I don't know, a good 3 or 4 minutes. And I was so mortified. And Lily was saying, well, at least it was a good comment. And I kind of wrote back to her saying, well, yeah, I suppose so. Other than the fact that it makes me look like I have a ego the size of Andromeda, but anyways. So anyhow, if that happens, please let me know. And I think accepting public life is accepting being embarrassed on a regular basis. It just comes with the territory, so it's all good. So anyway, let's dive into some really good stuff here. I actually jotted down a little bit about the 1212 portal here. I was just kind of making a few notes. So the number 12, especially in Chaldean numerology, I mean, 12 has a lot of ramifications, right? There's 12 months of the year. There's actually 13 lunar cycles, but 12 is the hangman in tarot. Since this is tarot time, you might as well speak of this in tarot terms. In fact, as I'm talking, maybe I'll whip it out. I'm thinking of that movie Blazing Saddles. Anybody that's an old timer like myself remembers that movie. But in any event, in Chaldean numerology, 12 is also called the sacrifice. So this is where we kind of sacrifice whatever we need to sacrifice in order to reach our next level. And that could be like the internal dialogue that we could sacrifice unhealthy people in our life. We cannot sacrifice unhealthy foods or diets or lifestyles or unhealthy thought patterns and stuff like that. So as I'm talking, I'm looking for the hangman card. I should have had this out ahead of time. Now shouldn't I have? But in any event, while we're looking for this card, for the new people, we always like to find out if you're coffee, tea, or caffeine free on a Sunday morning. And this is ridiculous. I'm not bringing the hangman card out because I went through the whole deck and I didn't see it. So I'm not going to spend any more time. And also, if you're like me and you haven't had breakfast yet and you're still in a good mood. So anyway, what else are you guys saying? 11/11, very good. And today is the 11th. I remember a lot. Father watched it. Lots of cool. Made my wish for 11/11, very good. So the portals are really kind of open. And so 12 is really about sacrifice. So when you enter the portals, you're going to be asked to maybe clear something about yourself that's made you feel maybe safe through the years, but it's unhealthy just the same. Because as we enter the higher vibrations, the higher frequencies of spirit, of energy, of the higher dimensions, we have to be more pure. We have to vibrate at a certain level. And being human, we're star seeds, right? We're from somewhere else, but we agree to be in a human body. And I always remember this original Star Trek episode series called By Any Other Name. And basically it's about the Kelvins. They come from another galaxy. They hijack the Enterprise, basically. But what they find out is they're not human. They're these kind of like amazing beings that have like 100 limbs that they can use independently or whatever. But the point is that they adapt human form for so long, they start to adapt human habits because they have a human sensory system, a human ego, a human structure, all that stuff. And basically, Captain Kirk, being who he is, figured out, if he can exploit the and help and make them indulge their human senses, and then they can distract them and hijack the ship. But I thought that was very clever, and that's kind of the way it is. We're spirit, but we're in these human experiences, so we adapt or adopt. Is that the word? Adopt these human habits also, and these human frailties, and these and all this stuff. So when we come back to spirit, it's not about like losing the humanness. It's really just kind of understanding what's behind that, or understanding that we're spirit, and we only have a human experience. We only have human bodies and human tendencies as a way of navigating this reality in order to do our work here, to grow and evolve. So 1212, a lot of that's about sacrifice. Now, there's also this time of year between 1212 and 1221, there's a huge portal. It's the darkest time of the year, but the sun is going to align with galactic center. That kind of meanders around 27 degrees Sagittarius. So that's where the center of the Milky Way, of this galaxy, is. So that's a huge portal when the sun, which is a living, breathing being that gives us life, and that allows our solar system to be aligned with our galactic center. It basically aligns us with the powers of the central sun in the universe. So that's really, for my money, one of the reasons why this is such a powerful time of the year. And it's really open now, but 1212 because of the numerology. Now, it's also this year, it's a 369, 1212, and 1221. 12 is a 3, 21's a 3, and we're in the 6th year. 2022 is a 6th year. So these days are numerologically will add up to 3 also. So we're in that 369 energy. That now also, according to many channels, I can't say that I directly understand this through my work. Only it resonates true with me. They talk about 12 dimensions, and I was sort of pondering that, the 12 dimensions, like we're kind of in 1, 2, and 3. Some of us are in the 4th, or even working with the 5th dimension. Dimensions, in my understanding, is different than the mathematical connotation of that word, and it's really denoting different frequencies, or different vibrational frequencies that we're part of, or that interact with us. But it's where our consciousness is, where our assemblage point is, like how we, what energetic threshold we're at dictates what levels or what dimensions we're able to vibrate on and understand. So as we increase our frequencies, we rise into higher and higher dimensions. Now, what Spirit was saying when I was asking, well, what does that mean? Then they were saying, well, the 12 dimensions will expand into 144 dimensions, because 12 times 12 is 144. So they're kind of going on. It's really infinite, but there's kind of like these building blocks, or these prototypes that all of reality is sort of built upon. It's built on a code of simplicity, but within that simplicity, it's infinite complexity is manifest from that anyway. So what else do we write down? Good time for mediumship, because it's the dark time of the year when everything's at its darkest, the inner sun can shine its lightest, and it's a great time to be able to connect with other dimensions. So anyways, now also this week, the sun and Neptune are going to be squaring in the immutable signs. I didn't write the degree points down, but the sun, well, on Wednesday, what day is that? The 12, 13, 14. So that'll be about 23 or so degrees Sagittarius. So the sun, Neptune is in Pisces. So there's been a trend of a lot of truth starting to seep through the cracks. We've been talking about this a long time. There's always a lot to talk about. I'm not going to really dive into what's been going on in the news, but suffice it to say that there's definitely some rattle and hum going on beneath the surface, and things are slowly getting exposed. And you can look at like China, COVID zero. You can look at different parts of the world. They're starting to uncover more truths behind we'll say the mysteries of the virus that we're dealing with, as well as some of the motivations beyond the geopolitical stress of Russia and Ukraine and NATO and all that. They're starting to understand that maybe there's another agenda, like a financial one, or a seizing of more power, more control over the world. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is really starting to pop in and come in to the 20-year epoch. So let me just flash that. So this is a very insightful thing. Interestingly, my experience was 12/12/2010 being the 2012. I mean, that's a personal thing, but there was a long track lunar eclipse that night. It was freezing cold. It was 12/21. I'm sorry, 12/21/2010. That was a triple 3-day in numerology that added up to 9. So that's a true 369 day. There's a beautiful lunar eclipse, and it was a long track eclipse, and it was bitter cold. It was like 10 degrees out. I was walking around for hours as the moon was disappearing, and at one point, the land turned purple and violet, and the moon turned green, and it was iridescent, and then I asked Spirit, wow, this is amazing. And they said, this is the rebirth of the divine feminine, or the reawakening of the divine feminine. It's happening now. This is the true end of the world, because it's the true new beginning. And then I finally went in around midnight. I went into this long meditation, and I came out of it like that. I came out of it wide awake. I looked at the clock. It was 3:33 a.m. So anyway, did I even show your comment? Oh, no, that was a different comment. Okay. All right. Anyway, and 12/29 is Heather Istara's birthday also. So that's a significant day too. And Chris is saying 22/4. Well, it's been incremental, basically. So let's do a meditation card. So something we can work with for the week. Try to keep it. And I don't try, I mean, I live alone. It's like, who's going to see me or hear me crying? And, I'm kind of over it anyway. It's like so many teachers have been saying, you just really can't give a crap about what other people think about you. And I'm just like lived a life of being just a highly sensitive, empathic, and very self-conscious person, and finding it not easy to just not care what people think about me. It's a spiritual lesson, and a process of daily work, basically, in order to reprogram that out of my system. But yeah, I took a break last night because I just needed to. I've been doing this deep, intense heart-brain coherence, and when I enter in, it's just like I just start crying, and that's been going on like for a lot of days. And I was thinking about things, because I've cured. Yeah, a lot of you know my story that I cured lifelong severe chronic eczema and other things, but I still have asthma. That one I haven't cured, and it's not like it was when I was a child. I almost died, more than once from not being able to breathe. It was quite scary, I might add. But I just surmised, as long as I still have asthma, means there's still obstruction in my heart chakra. And I've really been setting the intention with Spirit. Let's move through this. We don't need this. We're meant to evolve past all this old, trauma and drama from the past, and be in the present, and that perfection in the present moment. So that's been happening. They've been obliging and helping to clear all of the suppressed pain and trauma. It's amazing. But as I tell people, around here, we're spiritual warriors. We're not victims. If we identify a problem, we do something about it. We don't blame the government. We don't blame other people. We don't blame, I don't blame my parents for being just totally ill-equipped to raise children on an emotional level. They were great parents. Let me amend that. They were great parents on a lot of levels, but not on an emotional level. And it was a very abusive upbringing, because I was a very challenging child also. So, it's like this stuff is finally finally, after 60 plus years, starting to release. So let it go, let it flow. Yes, Carissa. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So let's pick our meditation card. Yes, we do like to smile a lot around here. Doing heart brain coherence will do that for you. It's it's almost like every day I can feel like I'm in love without even having a special person in my life. That's how amazing it is when you really work with the heart center. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna just cut the card a little bit. Ask Spirit to give us the right meditation card for the week. Here we go. What was we just talking about? The lovers. That's Gemini energy. Very good. Oh, hi, Janet or Janet or Janet. I don't know how we pronounce that in Swedish, but and it's a very snowy New York right now, also. So we got something in common. Yes, so this is a good one because I mean this can be about love and romance. It can be about choices, duality. Again, we're in a dualistic physical universe, but it stems from a oneness of heart and spirit. So the idea is get relaxed, like any other meditation. Get present, step into the card, and see what's going on, and perhaps. A lot of us need a little bit of coaching. I have a feeling, and I've been saying this for a few weeks now. Be funny if it wound up being me, right? But I have a feeling one or more of us are really going to start to key in on some amazing, romance or romantic potential, or it could be just an amazing friendship that's very loving and very supportive, also. Um, but but yeah, saying those who blame others don't tend to last too long in this world. Yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know if that was personal, Mary, and I flashed it. If I did, I apologize. But yeah, so yeah. So anyway, so that's our meditation cards. Let's do a 3-card. So when you're in the meditation, maybe you'll meet some spirit guides or angels. Maybe Cupid will pop that arrow in. So saying, just be present of heart. That's part of the message. The lover's card, it starts from within, right? We say that there's a lot around here also that, if you're looking for anything outside of yourself, you're not going to find it. So, we have to own that we are love, and the desire to have a partnership is to take that into another level, into a human experience, and be able to share that with another soul, basically. But it's not like you need somebody to find love. You are love. And the more you can own that, the more you're going to vibrate at a frequency that's conducive to finding the right partner. So it's all part of the social conditioning, the brainwashing. Even those of us that intellectually know better doesn't mean that they vibrate any better than that, because inwardly that belief system still exists. So that's another reason to do presence and to work with the heart, because then you can start to transcend your ego and start to see what's really going on and what you're really thinking. Because 95% of our 65,000 thoughts per day are subconscious thoughts. Uh, So Colin asking, when you did the Heartbrain Coherence, are you listening to Joe's? I listen to all of theirs. I actually like what Greg Braden says about that. For just about everything else, Joe Dispenza is my man. A lot of you know that. I mean, he's very New York. I don't know if he's from New York, but he just seems like a homeboy to me. And there's so many great teachers that are saying the same thing. But the reason I like him is that he just has a way of explaining things that totally resonates with my language and my understanding of spirit and energy. So, that's why there's so many great teachers out there. It's like like different teachers will resonate with you in different ways. People have come to me and said they don't really like Joe Dispenza. I'm like, all right, well, if he's not your cup of tea, find a teacher who is, because the ones that are real are saying the same things. So here we go. So this is a good comment. Let me flash this. Some things are some things that others' fault, and we can and have the right to blame them for that. And some things are our own fault. I blame myself for a lot of crap. So my answer to that is why was the person at fault in your life in the first place? Who created that situation? Who attracted that situation in the first place? So so yes, on a human level, people do all kinds of crap to us. I got fired from a job that I loved for being falsely accused of stealing, which I never would do and I never did. And sure, that was the other person's fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Then I have to look within. It's like, what's in my vibrational field that attracted the situation in the first place? That's the point. And that's when you shift from being, I don't want to say victim mentality, because I don't think that's where you're coming from, but I can't think of another words or other ways to explain it. That's when we shift into warrior mentality. We take responsibility for everything right or wrong in our world, and then we do something about it. So let me hide this comment. Okay, thank you. So and anyway, so that's what I have to say about that. So you're not wrong. You're right. People do crap for us, and we have every right to confront them, to deal with them. Yeah, even to be angry. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a survival emotion, but we have to be warriors. There's no, like I was saying before, around here we're not victims, and I never would have healed from eczema if I carried that victim mentality. Like when I was at my worst, I would curse God and plan my suicide in my mind, and I had it all worked out. I was very clever, just like, and I'll make it look like an accident so I won't completely devastate my son. I would never do that. It's like to my last breath, I would never take my own life. But anyway, point being is one day I just got the realization that, I can't be angry about this anymore. I can't be upset. I need to just do something about it. I went out and I did yoga in the sun. I stopped itching for maybe 2 hours. And then this very obscure song by Tom Petty came on the radio, a great song from his album Mojo called The First Flash of Freedom. Spirit talks to us through synchronicity. So I decided I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to be angry about this anymore. I went out, I stopped itching, I did my yoga, I popped in the car, and the radio station was playing a song that virtually got no airtime called The First Flash of Freedom. So there you have it. That's another one of my stories. Let's go back into tarot now. So great comment, Janet. Thank you. Hopefully that made sense to you and clarifies things. So when you start to take responsibility for things that are wrong in your life, you start to take responsibility for things that are right in your life also. You start to realize that you can do anything. You can create energy, because you start to realize everything's vibration and frequency, and everything matches. So you take the sum of your reality, and that's the universe. That we're in a classroom. This is Maya. According to the ancient mystics, this is illusion. When we die, we go back to reality, basically, not the other way around. When we go into dream time, we go closer to reality. So it's set up to be our perfect classroom. It's a fractal universe, and the fractals change with consciousness, with energy and frequency. So long and the short of it is that everything in the physical universe is a reflection of our energy that we're putting out into the universe. And it's being proven in quantum physics now, through understanding what happens on a microcosm level, and understanding everything that happens on the microcosm is going to happen on the macrocosm. But the physical world is at the highest level of density, so it takes a long time. So the energy that you have now may not come back to you fully for years or even lifetime anyway. I'm talking a lot as usual. As usual, nothing ever changes. So let's go back into tarot. I'm just flipping down the comments too. And I'll just pop another comment here also, because I just something else, it had come up recently, just triggered by the week's activities, and that's kind of connected to that, and the idea. Oh yeah, I was doing the heart brain coherence, and the idea is, if there's something still inside of me that's causing negative patterns, and I'm just kind of seeing, because of certain things or events that have come up recently, I'm kind of seeing some old patterns that I thought that I put to bed already starting to rise up again. And it's like, no, okay, I haven't completely cleared this yet in my mind, and I'm going to make up some new sleep programs. Because it long and the short of it has to do with like lingering insecurities from childhood and all that stuff. And once I saw like something getting triggered recently, I was like, okay. Instead of like feeling sorry for myself, it's like, what do I do to change this? Okay, I'll make up some new affirmations, some new sleep programs, and reprogram my mind, basically. Anyway, let me find this comment. Oh, here we go. Okay, hide. All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yes. I have to give Lily Nova a shout out, because I started watching her live streams and she did that. I was like, oh my God, I need to start doing that also. By the way, if you missed it, it's on the channel, Lily Nova, and her channel is called Lily Nova Starseed. She does an activation at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. If you want to pop in on that later, it'll be amazing. I may not be there because I just got so much freaking work to do, but you guys enjoy it. All right. Okay, so here we go. I need to clear my mind now so that Spirit can pick the cards through me. Okay, one. Sorry, I'm licking my fingers. My hands are already dry. 2 and 3. Okay. All right. Okay, firstly, okay, 6 of Wands or 6 of Rods reverse, Wheel of Fortune reverse, 9 of Pentacles reverse. So somebody's fallen off their horse recently. Yes. Who is it? Speak now. Time to get back on that horse or whatever. The frequencies are so high. A lot of us are maybe feeling like we're getting kind of knocked off our game a little bit, or just kind of feeling a little bit put off by the world or put off by our loved ones. I think a lot of us in this community are really working on speaking up more and expressing their views more, and are either being engaged with a lot of criticism or whatever. But it feels to me like I may not be the only one that's noticed I've fallen back into a couple of old unhealthy patterns recently. So so I think this is what this is saying. Yeah, I also get a feeling of a lot of surrender. Again, we're in that 12-12 portal. 12 is about surrender and sacrifice in order to reach the next level or the highest level. So it's a very spiritual quality. And after number 12 comes number 13. That's the death card. That's the transformation. That's when we go into the chrysalis and we become butterflies. So right now, in this 12-12 portal during this week to 12/21. This is the time to step into the chrysalis, to shed that old caterpillar skin so you can emerge as a butterfly now, to come into your next level now. The Wheel of Fortune turns things, right? It's key 10 in the tarot. It's a one. It's a new beginning. It's reverse. Reverse things may happen a little bit slowly. I feel like one of the meanings they're saying as I'm talking is to remind ourselves that we need to make what we desire real in our heart and real in our energy fields. There's no shortcuts. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon that a lot of us need to understand. We have to get out of that mentality of a quick fix or instant gratification and be present in the moment. That's what presence does for us. We don't get this wanting and needing thing, for something to happen. We feel satisfied and complete right now. And the Wheel of Fortune is a very kind of complete energy. It's a wheel, it's a circle. Reality, as we can't understand reality because it's a circle with no circumference. It never begins, it never ends. And it's changing all the time. And the different the sacred geometric patterns all evolve out of that circle with no circumference. So that can become tetrahedrons, pyramids, diamonds, toruses, all that stuff, double helixes. And what do we have as the last card? 9 of Pentacles, but it's reversed again. We may feel like our security is going to be a little bit threatened this week. It has a very internal quality, probably, or part of the reason is that the moon's waning. We're in the very end of the solar year, so we're in that time where we're really kind of meant to go underground, so to speak. Like I feel like they're saying this is the time to die so you can be reborn, basically. Don't kill yourselves, but this is the time to die so you can be reborn. And according to Armand Diaz, this week's somewhat quiet astrologically. Well, there's a few things like the Neptune Sun square and a few other things, but right around the solstice next week gets really, really super active astrologically. I feel like they're saying this is the time, this is the week to maybe clean your house, maybe catch up on paperwork, get back to people that you forgot to call back or get back to and stuff like that, to clear any misunderstandings. Because once we hit the solstice, it's a new birth. It's the birth of the sun god. It's Yule Day. And when I started to do shamanism and work with the Native Americans, and this was back in my 20s after my awakening or my glimpse of awakening, as it were. And I notice every day on solstice, even though the sun's lowest to the horizon, I mean, and at high noon here, the sun angles about like it is at 6 p.m. on the solstice. I mean, it's a big difference, but it just shines in it's hard to explain because I don't think there's any physical phenomena that would explain this, but it always has this glow and this feeling of new light. I can't explain it, but it just has this iridescent quality. And remember one time, it was, I think, 1982 or 1983. I was in Oklahoma, living there for a time, and it was solstice morning. It was 7 below in Oklahoma. It officially reached 2 above in Oklahoma City, but we were, not near the city, and it was 7 below. We were inside. We came out for 20 minutes, had a big fire and everything, and we did the ceremony. It was beautiful. And that day, I just noticed the sun, and it got up to the teens. So I took a bicycle ride. I rode my bike about 10 miles or so, in 10-degree weather, and I was just getting into the sun energy, into the solar energy, just feeling like that awakening and rebirth. So that's kind of what we're coming into next week. Let me see what else. A lot of money energy, banking systems, stuff like that. I mean, money's changing. Everything's changing in the world. Money's energy. The way money is used is changing. So I shouldn't say money's changing. Money's just energy, but just the way it's being conceptualized, used, misuse, as the case may be. Stable, solid investments are the way to go, unless you get a really strong intuition, because there are ways to make money in the speculative markets out there. But again, slow and steady wins the race. And as I'm saying that, they're just showing me this image of just having like gold locked up in the basement, basically. So I think it's also Spirit's way of saying this is a good week to stock up on things, just in case the power goes out in the winter and you don't have a generator, or food supplies dwindle. That's always been out there in the ethers, and many, not just me, but many teachers, from astrologers to channels, have been warning us of that. But everything's fluid and timelines are fluid, so things don't necessarily have to pan out the way the prophecies say. You'd say, oh, what's that woman's name? Gosh, I have to get her name. That's was she Hungarian or Yugoslavian? Which I don't think Yugoslavia exists anymore, but in any event, like even her or Nostradamus, the great prophets, they're only 85% accurate, which is pretty damned amazing that they're 85% accurate. But they're not. The point is, they're not 100%, and the timelines are always changing. What's happening in our world is a reflection of collective consciousness. So collectively, we're creating this world. Like in the beginning of the session, I talked about how the universe is our perfect mirror, but that happens on the collective level also. So watch things like money. I think they're saying to stock up, to make sure you have supplies in case you need them. Ways to stay warm if it comes to that. I mean, even with generators, they require gas, and if you can't go anywhere, that's not going to help after a while. And again, if supplies shut down, and if any of these possibilities show up, but I feel like they're also saying, but to prepare also emotionally, and we want to be able to feel, but we don't want to be overwhelmed by our feelings. So ground. I did a really nice live on Thursday night about 7 different ways to do grounding exercises. Really, really important now. It's always important, but really now, because like I always say, that when the storm comes, the white pines blow down, but the birch trees bend, and I'm hearing the Jabberwocky in my mind, Jabberwocky, the gyre and gimber in the wind, or whatever that is, from Alice Through the Looking Glass. That's where that poem comes from, Jabberwock. So we need to have our energetic roots deep, so the energetic storms don't blow us over, basically. We need to be strong. If we're the teachers, and we're the healers, the guides, the mystics, the light workers, and all that, if we go to pieces, how's that going to help the world? So it's our responsibility, not just to ourselves, but to everybody, because honestly, not to sound like an egoist, but you wouldn't be here if you weren't attracted. Like if you weren't in an awakening process in your life, you would not be attracted to this work and this channel. Like you just would not be here, basically. So anyways, that's what I believe that's saying. I just want to peek at your comments for a second. All right. God, I almost messed the screen up. That wasn't good. Wow, there's a lot of comments. Thank you for that. All right, so very good. All right. Let's see. I got a bunch of things with me today. Let's do the Native American. That's an add to the message. This is the Native American tarot that I have here. I don't know why I'm breaking them into 4 piles rather than 3, but never mind. I already got my card. This is what I got here. The Matriarch of Blades. That's the Queen of Swords. Wow. Feminine power, right? The divine feminine. It's a balance. We're divine whole. We're not divine masculine or divine feminine. We're divine whole. but these are two very distinct parts of our energies. And um, but the matriarch of Blade, she's not like a dainty, demure lady. She's a warrior. That's part of the divine feminine. It's warriorship energy also. And your warriorship comes from the heart. It comes from through embracing our feelings, our emotions. That those part of ourselves that are yin or that are feminine. That we're receptive. We're healers. We're mystics. We're psychic, and all that stuff. So the queens also represent water, and the swords or blades also represent air. Now I get a lot more from these cards. So what I'm seeing from this is like she's got the sword in front of her. She's not pointing it forward. She just has it if she needs it, basically. And the storm clouds are behind her, and she's moving away from the storm clouds. But within the storm clouds, there's like a doorway or a pillar, basically. So it kind of has that almost a meaning like the high priestess, and the Hierophant cards that have the two pillars, and then in between the pillars is a portal, and she's coming out of the portal and she's sharing what she's learned. She's sharing what she's overcome in battle, like what enemy she's overcome, and what story she has to tell, and what she has to bring back to the people so that they may benefit from the hardship that she's had to endure in her life, basically. So that's what Spirit's telling me about this card. I'll just put this here in case I want to show all these again. So we have 4 cards now. There we go. So I have my other animal card today. I promise one of these days, I as tempting as it is, I would do the what's this deck called? Here we go. Messages from your animal spirit guide by Stephen Farmer. Farmer is a good name for somebody that does spirit animals. I like that a lot better than having a dentist named Dr. Payne, right? or there's a doctor that used to write about feminine issues. We'll put it that way. And his name was Larry Clapp, and I was like, oh my God, dude, you need to change that name. No bueno. But Steve Farmer will take that. Yes. Thank you for that. Good comment. Okay. Here we go. There we go. We found the card. So well, meow. I love cats. And what's the message? It's time to strike out on your own and relinquish your codependency on others. Ooh, that's a good message. I mean, I think I struck out on my own over 10 years ago, but whatever. But this isn't always for me, and sometimes things are symbolic. Cats are also very cute. They're very sensual beings, right? And they're very mystical and magical, and they're really dwellers in multiple planes. So people think cats sleep all the time. Most of the time, when you think a cat's sleeping, they're not sleeping. They're just in a very, very deep alpha or theta or something. But they're kind of like in both worlds also. So anyways, oh hi Maria, welcome. Yeah, then you guys that are coming in later. Once we're done, this will upload as a video, and you can watch the whole thing. But they're saying in this, it's time to strike out on your own and relinquish your over dependency. So really, whether you're single, partnered, or whatever, you still have to be dependent on yourself. We're community, so we're dependent on everybody, and everybody's dependent on us. But it starts with the self. So I think some of you, and this has been a theme also, as we awaken, our partners aren't always awakening the way that we are, and sometimes we have to part ways. Sometimes our even our deepest love relationships, sometimes we're only meant to walk a mile of this earth walk with that person, not the whole not the whole marathon, not the whole 26 miles. That's fine. We have to be okay with release and surrender. Again, we're in that 12 portal. We have to be okay with that and grateful for the experience that we had. And I recently made a great friend, and then we have a really good hard connection into my mind. Whether this is just for today or whether it's for a year, for a lifetime, in this moment, it doesn't matter, because it's still the same energy, it's still the same love, it's still the same beauty. Okay, so anyway, that's what Kat is telling me to, and also be more playful, because I noticed he has a kitten in here, a little tyke. And and that's a good message. So to be more like a cat. So what else? Let's do our sacred geometry message also. Okay. Yeah, cats would definitely love that, wouldn't they? Okay. So let me just take a second. Here we go. 11, belief. Today is the 11th, right? So that's the sacred geometry of belief. So the idea is maybe to just sort of absorb, that energy a little bit. And when I work with these, I like to just sort of gaze at it for a minute or two, and then close my eyes and just feel like I'm in the vibration of the sacred geometry being shown here. And the message for us is the frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents, and a strong connection to source. So there's that. And I have a couple different angel decks with me right now, or angel messengers. So we'll do that as our final message of the day and the week. By the way, tomorrow, 7 p.m., 12:12, we do a 12:12 transmission, of course, here on the Medium channel. That's going to work with and utilize all these concepts I was talking about. And then it's kind of a quieter week. We have an upload Thursday. I think it's going to be the top 11 things that starseeds and empaths need to know in 2023. And then on the 19th, we have mediumship. So a week from Monday, I think that is, or Tuesday. I don't even know what day of the week the 19th is. Anyway, we're going to do mediumship for in honor of Yule and the winter solstice. So come on in, and you may get a message. It's all free. It's all a spirit. And then Tammy Magnuson is going to teach us a little bit about EFT training and emotional frequency technique and stuff like that. So she's going to be my next guest. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I need to stop thinking. There we go. Interesting. They showed me the 10 of Swords in my mind, which is usually like about an ending. Sometimes it's a betrayal, but usually it's about like a shedding of old skin. And then we have Patient, which has a very similar vibe to that card in the tarot. Now's the time to learn, study, and gather information. Enjoy being a student, because in the future you will synthesize your knowledge into action. So basically, it's just kind of like, and this is very succinct with the time of year that we're in. It's really the time to go inward, absorb, assimilate all the lessons, because as the sun gets reborn, we're going to come into the new solar year. So so then we start to assimilate that knowledge into action, but you have to allow yourself to be able to absorb it, allow to become one with you. I'm thinking of Bruce Lee now. I'm once a martial artist, always a martial artist, I guess. But that's how I came into spirituality. And one of his famous quotes is absorb what is useful. They're very, very simple. Disregard the rest. So when you're working with teachers or whatever, absorb what resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's not with you at this time. So absorb all these lessons. Don't take things personally. Understand that it's all a process of growth. And if you're able to do that, then you learn the lessons, and then you're ready for the next challenges, because it's just, it goes on and on. But challenge isn't a bad thing, especially when we overcome it. And so we have angel therapy cards too today. Yay. Yeah. Oh, well, blessings to Tiger Lily. I have many cats on the other side. Imagine that that he passed at age 30. Bruce Lee. I mean, I basically studied his movies to get his technique. I mean, you can't get Bruce Lee's technique, but you know what I mean. And to absorb what is useful from his technique. So I'd watch Enter the Dragon, and I'd study that fight scene from Return of the Dragon with Chuck Norris, like in the Rome Coliseum. What a classic! If you're into martial arts, that's a classic scene. It's called Return of the Dragon, which ironically came out before the movie Enter the Dragon. You think it was the other way around, but no. Return of the Dragon came out before Enter the Dragon. And just an epic fight scene with Chuck Norris, and epic, very ahead of its time. And that movie, by the way, there was an American movie, like he had made one or two martial arts movies from Chinese producers. I can't remember the name of that movie off the top of my head. But this was American, and they talk about Bruce Lee defeating the top American martial artists. Like you can imagine, this was in, God, was this the 60s or early 70s? I mean, we're still a hugely egocentric country. I mean, I love the concept of America. I'm not being anti-American, but we are a very egocentric country, especially back then. So you can imagine being ahead of your time, saying, like, this guy from China defeated America's best martial artists. I mean, to me, that really spoke volumes about that. So anyway, past life issues. Yes, that's our angel therapy. So again, we're in that 1221 portal. Ideal to go within. Go into your heart and ask your guide, ask spirit to reveal past lives or past life issues. That could be part of your meditation. Maybe going back to the Lover's cards as our first card. Maybe a lot of us have, relationship or emotional stuff. But whatever the case may be, the message here is this situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. And that's what I got, kids. So thank you very much. Focus, chi, total field. Yes. Oh, so you know the scene, yeah. See that when I was totally zoned, like, what is it? Yeah, it's classic, yeah. And I think that's the one that had the cat also, like the cat playing or toying, and then Bruce Lee's kind of toying with Chuck Norris. It was just so freaking amazing. Oh my, that last card was a doozy. Yes, it was. Good thing to end on. So I'm going to end on a high note. Woo! Okay, very good. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, channeling live. If you can make it live, well, you can bring the 12 slow portal to you anytime. They're going back to that transmission. In fact, if you want to get a head start, I did one on 2021. That's on the channel. In fact, I was going over my views this morning. Somebody actually watched that this morning, which was great. Love you too. Love you all too. I'm going to watch it right now. You do that. Thank you. And I'll pin a couple of videos on the comments when when this goes to video on the pinned comment, I'll post a couple of videos. All right. I need breakfast. See y'all later. Have a great day.